Hiya, my name is Stacie Townsend, and let's learn to play better pickleball with Pickler and USA Pickleball.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're the pickleball pros at Boca Bridges Racket Club in Boca Raton, Florida.
Let's talk about one of the most important parts of doubles pickleball, strategy.
Strategy is so important in the sport of pickleball, as pickleball is not only a physical game, but a mental one. Some say pickleball is like chess, easy to play, but hard to master. Well, with these pickleball strategy tips, you're going to be well on your way to your road to mastery.
Strategy tip number 1 starts with the first shot of every rally.
The serve.
When hitting your serve, try to target your opponent's weaker side, which is oftentimes their backhand side, and hit your serve deep into the service box, which will make it more difficult for your opponents as they will have a longer return. However, avoid hitting your serve out of bounds. Give yourself a little margin for error.
Strategy tip number 2 relates to the second shot of every rally.
The return of serve.
Like the serve, the return of serve should be deep in your opponent's side of the court. And again, give yourself a margin for error because a missed return is an easy point for your opponents. Consider hitting most returns in the middle of the court, to your opponent's weaker side, especially if that weaker side is in the middle of the court, and also to the player that has a weaker third shot. Number 3, get to the kitchen line. Most points are won at the kitchen line. So as soon as you oblige by pickleball's 2-bounce rule by letting both the serve and the return to serve bounce, you should be making your way to the kitchen line. Make a shot selection and stick with it. Where pickleball players make a mistake is by second-guessing themselves or changing their minds. The time to make a decision and execute is only fractions of a second. So if you change your mind, you will likely make a mistake because you won't have enough time. So make a decision and stick to it. Play to your strengths and your opponent's weaknesses. One of the basic cornerstones of pickleball strategy is to play to your strengths and your opponent's weaknesses. For instance, if you have a great drive and power game, while your opponents have a great soft game and dinking game, then drive the pickleball more often and avoid those dink rallies. If you have a great lob and your opponents have poor mobility, then try to lob. If your opponents have amazing forehand drives but weak backhand drives, hit to their backhands. Know your strengths and use them. Figure out your opponent's weaknesses and exploit them. Number 6, dink cross court most of the time. One tip for strong dinking is to hit most dinks cross court, as opposed to straight forward or in the middle of the court. This is because the cross court dink gives you the most margin for error, as a cross court dink will travel over the lowest part of the net, which is in the middle. However, not all dinks should be cross court. Like any shot, mix it up and stay unpredictable. Number 7, over the pickleball net, between the lines, and mostly down the middle. Whether you're playing doubles or singles, the key to winning is hitting the pickleball over the net and between the lines one more time than your opponents. One tip to help accomplish this is to hit most of your shots on the pickleball court down the middle, with the exception of dinks, which most dinks should go cross court. As the saying goes, down the middle solves the riddle. This is usually true because the middle of the court gives you the highest margin for error. And if you can target your opponent with his or her backhand in the middle, since backhands are usually weaker, even better.
Whew, that was a lot.
But most importantly,
Have fun.
If you like this pickleball video, be sure to share it with your pickleball friends and partners, and we'll see you out on the pickleball courts.